Violence in the streets. Local man in Baltimore almost killed by brick attack. And then in other news, Antifa commander finally caught and arrested with a flamethrower. An article here by Zero Hedge. It happened so fast. A Baltimore man smashed by brick, disturbing video shows. The short video shows a man running up with a brick in hand and then smashing it over the head of an older white man on Sunday afternoon around the 100 block of West Hamburg Street in South Baltimore. While the video shows the suspect blindside the victim, Fox News said the assault occurred after both men were involved in a loud argument. Officers arrived on the scene around 6:40 p.m. Sunday to Hamburg Street and found a pool of blood on the sidewalk where the victim laid on the ground for several minutes. It happened so fast, one witness, who did not want to be identified. When I saw him running, I thought he was running to talk to the guy. Baltimore City Councilman Eric Costello condemned the disgusting attack in an Instagram post. It should go without saying that the complete depravity to human life illustrated in this video is disgusting and should be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So, it looks like they conveniently left out the rest of this. Luckily, I have it here. So here's the video. Yeah, that looks like it hurt. So down to his Instagram post, hashtag white lives do not matter, hashtag black lives matter. So I think that pretty clear this was a racially motivated attack. It's kind of hard to argue otherwise. So these attacks seem to be on the rise. At least recently, there have been a variety of attacks against white people. Now, we all know in this country that we're not foreign to racially motivated attacks that have been happening since the inception of the country, I'd argue. But as a society, we have started to grow, and these are more and more rare. In fact, a lot of the hate crimes that have happened recently have turned out to be lies. So I thought we were progressing as a society, but I mean, with what's been happening recently, I think we are starting to deteriorate. So in other news, flamethrower packing Antifa entered fetal position and began crying after unsuccessful escape from the cops. A 23-year-old Wisconsin man carrying a flamethrower, smoke grenades, and fireworks during a Saturday night demonstration in Green Bay dropped into the fetal position and began crying after he was chased down by police. Matthew Banta of Neenah, Wisconsin, who is known to be a violent Antifa member who incites violence and otherwise relatively peaceful protests, was one of 4 individuals walking towards a protest with baseball bats. Green Bay police say they were called for a whole bunch of white people with sticks, baseball bats, and helmets headed towards the police on Walnut Street near Webster Avenue. A responding officer says he saw 4 individuals walking towards a protest with baseball bats. One man was wearing a metal helmet with goggles and military-style gear with multiple pouches. He was carrying an Antifa flag. When the officer pulled his squad car in front of the group, they ran away. The officer caught Banta, who was carrying the flag, and says Banta dropped into the fetal position and began crying. He accused the officer of lying on him. The officer replied nobody was on him. Well, it's not really surprising. From the videos I've seen, I mean, when these Antifa guys actually are met with violence, they basically beg for the police. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. So here's Andy No. As suspected, Matthew Banta is a hardcore Antifa militant. He goes by the online moniker, the Commander Red. Extremely disturbing that he goes to Antifa protests armed with a loaded rifle. He appears to be friends with violent Portland Antifa suspect Alex Dial, a.k.a. Beta Cuck for Life. Okay. That's a nice nickname. Banta claims he wasn't planning to incite a riot with his flamethrower, smoke grenade, and fireworks. Yeah, okay. The 3 other individuals Banta was with were caught trying to break into a home. When officers apprehended them, they dropped what they were carrying, one of them telling the police that they were simply bringing items for self-defense. Last month, Banta was charged in Waupaca County with second-degree recklessly endangering safety and 4 other charges for pointing a loaded gun at a police officer and biting and kicking another. Well, charged. I guess he was released. I don't know. I mean, he pointed a gun at a police officer, and then a month later, he has a flamethrower going to a riot. When Matthew Banta, aka Commander Red, was arrested for assaulting and brandishing a rifle at one in Wisconsin, he was wearing an Antifa patch. This type of organized extremism should be covered in the national press, but is ignored to maintain the no Antifa narrative. And he has a point. Um, I mean, you can use Joe Biden's speech in Pittsburgh as a perfect example. He blamed right wing nationalism and white supremacists for the violence in the streets. I'm pretty sure this guy is not a white nationalist. And I say that because he's obviously Antifa, and I don't think it fits the narrative that Antifa are Trump supporters, right? More evidence of Matthew Banta's explicit Antifa ties. He's the militant arrested for allegedly attacking police in Wisconsin with a loaded rifle and knife at a protest. And again, somehow he's released back on the streets. Doesn't make much sense to me. So it would seem that the violence is just going to continue. It's not going to stop. I think even if Joe Biden wins, I don't see it stopping. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how you get these people to get off the street. I don't think that they have any real coherent demands. Well, let me know what you think. What would you do? How would you stop the riots? People are saying they should send in the feds. I personally think that it should be up to the states to handle this problem. I don't think Trump should send in the feds, and I think that if he does, he's opening himself up to the perfect attack that he's a fascist, right? That he's an authoritarian by doing this. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.